All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Me here again, talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Guitarist Richie Faulkner from the band Judas Priest is making a recovery. He underwent 10.5-hour emergency open heart surgery. He is now conversing, probably from his hospital bed via social media, that he's now 5 parts mechanical, at least inside of his chest. He says 5 parts of my chest were replaced with mechanical components. And he's playing this up as now he's part of a metal band that he's literally made out of metal now. So kind of making light of the situation or bringing a little levity, which again is interesting. He talks about being close to this heart and lung center, was only 4 miles away from the gig site. So he's really thankful. At one point, he says, I've been moved to tears and humbled by friends, family, my fantastic band, crew, and management. And also you guys sending me videos and messages of love. So that's pretty cool. Here's the paragraph that jumped out. Now, before I read this paragraph, this event was produced by Live Nation, all right? And call me a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. Live Nation has had a very strict policy about those who attend, and I'm assuming those who perform, right? I think it's kind of like a known quantity now with Live Nation that everybody does the thing, right? Everybody does. And look, if you don't like where I'm going with this, what's interesting is nobody brings it up so they can debunk it. Nobody brings it up so they could say, oh, of course that didn't have anything to do with what happened to Richie. Well, let me read this paragraph. He says, one last thing, maniacs. This came totally out of the blue for me. All right. No history of a bad heart. No clogged arteries. My point is, I don't even have high cholesterol. And this could have been the end for me. If you can get yourselves checked, do it for me, please. Now, I'm wondering, Richie, what we're going to check for. I'm sure Richie's not sending code here to anybody, so I can put on my tinfoil hat, right? But he says, this came totally out of the blue for me. No history of a bad heart. Look, it could have been a hereditary thing, right? But wouldn't you want to debunk the notion that the thing may have caused this problem? Because I'm assuming, again, I'm using Live Nation here. I'm referencing Live Nation because they've been very dogmatic about their approach to doing concerts. And I'm assuming everybody there had to have their QR code, right? So just to put it bluntly. So here's my theory on this. If this was caused by the thing, they don't want you to know, obviously. They don't, and they will. This is what's weird now, is that they're going out of their way to keep, it's again, they're juggling, keeping those juggling balls in the air. No, this didn't, no. We're not even going to talk about it. How do you handle it? We're not even going to say anything. Now, if somebody on the inside says, look, Richie didn't do the thing, I would say, oh, because then, you could blame this on him not doing it, right? So, and they can't even do that because, again, that would point to him having done the thing. You know where I'm going? So there's no easy out here. There's no way to do publicity. When you make a statement like this came out of the blue, I don't have high cholesterol. So where do I get my test if I'm perfectly healthy? What do I do? If I've got good cholesterol and I don't have high blood pressure and I don't have a family history, right? I mean, because that's basically what he's saying here. It just, again, there have been a lot of mysterious things that have happened, especially, the last 18 months or so, where, people who were in pretty decent shape ended up not being here anymore. And then the news headlines don't really address if they did the thing or not, because again, they're so invested in keeping this going. And then, of course, they would say to you, you're crazy. This had nothing to do with that. Shut up. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Okay. Well, then why don't you just put it out there and clear it up? Because these people don't even think that way. That's, I think the explanation is they're not going to tell you because it doesn't even occur to them to ask the question, which I think is even, I don't know, even more diabolical to some degree, that you wouldn't even want to warn. He wants to warn people, right? Go get a test. Okay. Drill into my heart tissue to see if it's okay. I don't know what kind of test are you going to do? Make sure all the valves and plugs are connected properly. Is there a test for that? I don't know. But the point is, there's not anything that this would be just one of those things that you had some defective parts or it was fate. But again, 41 years old, very healthy. He's telling everybody, basically, this came out of the blue. So again, we're never going to know. This is because the other ones that I've talked about, nobody ever came back and said anything about those. And there've been a number now. There've been a pretty high number of fairly high profile people who've left planet Earth who, the explanation was 59 years old, was here today, gone the next day. We don't know why. It's a sad thing. Unexpected. They'll say unexpected, sudden, but no details. The articles will say things like, no reason was given. Well, again, if you're a fan of that particular person, not because you're a gossip hound, but wouldn't you like to know for reasons that, he's basically telling you here to go get a test. So wouldn't you want to know to avoid a certain thing or behavior? Because they don't want you to avoid the thing or behavior. That's crazy to me. That's diabolical, demonic even. And I don't know if I'm going off on my own here. I'm walking through the woods. I've got the tinfoil hat on, receiving signals, and I could be just, crazy here, but it just continues to happen where there's a lot of information that is omitted or not presented. And I've explained why, and you can judge for yourself. Hopefully I am crazy. Hopefully this has nothing to do with that stuff. Anyway, we wish Richie a full recovery. And I guess if you're in the metal business and you're made out of metal, that's a selling point, right? Rather have all the natural parts. But anyway, our best to Richie and his family and his fans.